The mention of Branch 5X creates an intriguing new mystery in Severance Season 2. After many explosive reveals in Season 1's ending, Season 2 is exploring the fallout of these revelations while also providing more insight into the show's many ongoing mysteries. But before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, drop a like and comment on the video, and if you're able, please sign up for channel memberships for exclusive content, which really helps us out. Anyway, back to Lumen. So, Season 2 Episode 1 focuses on Severance's innie characters, while Episode 2 focuses on their outies and how Lumen Industries executives are attempting to do damage control. The corporation's efforts to legalize the severance procedure are in jeopardy, particularly after what the innie of Helena Egan shared. While there are still many mysteries about Lumen's endgame, it's become increasingly clear it's tied to the project known as Cold Harbor. In Episode 1, Cold Harbor is shown to be the name of the new file that Mark S. and his co-workers are refining, and that it is connected to Gemma or Miss Casey. Episode 2 demonstrates that behind the scenes, Lumen's executives are fixated on Mark completing the Cold Harbor file, even if that means bringing in co-workers from elsewhere. After firing Dylan G and Irving B, Mr. Milchick has only 48 hours to find Mark new co-workers in the macro data refinement department so the work on Cold Harbor can continue. Two of these co-workers are Mark W and Gwendolyn Y. Mr. Milchick mentions that Mark W and Gwendolyn were laid off from another branch of Lumen Industries known as 5X, while the third worker, David, has been flown in from overseas. In Episode 1, Mark W mentions as a fun fact during the Icebreaker game that his branch was shut down and he thought his innie would be permanently retired, which made it a nice surprise to discover that he was working at Lumen again. Based on these details, it seems that Branch 5X was shut down and that all employees were laid off because Lumen deemed the branch to be a failure. Mark W mentions to Mark S that in his old branch, he and his team never hit their quota, which likely contributed to why Lumen shut the branch down. When Mr. Milchick reveals during a meeting with Lumen executives that he has brought in two previously laid off employees from Branch 5X, the mysterious Mr. Drummond says, "Branch 5X? Really?" His response is surprised and somewhat judgmental, which suggests nothing good about the branch. Mr. Drummond's surprised and judgmental attitude may just be related to the fact that Branch 5X was unable to successfully refine their files, which makes them less than ideal candidates to work on Cold Harbor. Given how poorly Mark S and his co-workers are treated even when they do hit their quota, Lumen probably did unimaginably horrific things to severed employees who never met theirs. With his high status in the Lumen hierarchy, Mr. Drummond may have even played a direct role in what happened to Branch 5X and been part of shutting it down. His response raises questions about what exactly happened at Branch 5X beyond the employer's failure to meet their quota. Why Branch 5X shut down and why its reputation is so bad are now among the many questions in Severance. The Apple TV Plus series is brilliantly written and has a clever way of incorporating seemingly small details that are paid off in later episodes. Branch 5X is another perfect example of this, as Episode 2 doesn't spend much time focusing on this detail, but it does seem important, especially when it comes to better understanding what Lumen is really working towards. Lumen may be most invested in the Cold Harbor file, but it's not the only file they want refined, as Branch 5X and other branches overseas have their own macro data refinement departments. Learning about what happened to Branch 5X can help the characters and the audience better understand what Lumen is doing with Gemma, Miss Casey, along with what Lumen wants from her. Branch 5X's story can also reveal more about Mark W and Gwendolyn's innies in Severance Season 2, which will give them a chance to continue playing a role in the new season.